at the end of the last session, you guys had been in the Regent's cantina and had fairly well convinced the owners there that you were there and representing some pretty bad people, Bandin Dobar and his organisation, and they were convinced and cowed into supplication, and the people that came in that you roughed up have been well and truly dealt with. Is there anything? It's probably getting pretty late at this stage in the evening, and your characters are probably looking to retire for the night for some rest. Would there have been anything that your characters would have been desperate to do on the tail of that, or are you happy to head back to the ship to?
I'm happy to go back.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any particular pressing thing that we desperately wanted to do, was there?
No.
Yep. It's getting quite late now after the excitement of the day. So you head through Formos now at night and back towards the docking bay where your spaceship is currently quartered. And as you approach the spaceport itself, you go past, I think I said when we first arrived in Formos, there's an Imperial barracks not far away. The street was fairly busy with lots of street sellers and hawkers and things like that, people moving around and through the area. It is very still, even now, very, very dry and leaving the cool, moistured air of the cantina and heading back out into that parched, arid air causes you to catch your throats again as you head back towards the ship. To that effect, can I please get an average? Now, I think, Heathen, you didn't need to do this again.
No, I didn't.
From memory. So, with the exception of Heathen, and with the exception, obviously, of M8, who is unperturbed by the atmosphere, dry, moist, or completely absent. So, just Mazota and Jala. Can I get, please, either an athletics or a survival test, please?
I thought it was a resilience check.
It probably was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a resilience check, I think.
Yeah, that's all right. Either one of those will be fine. If you're better at resilience than either of those skills, then you can feel free to roll that, Mazota.
No.
I think everyone's in trouble.
That's all right. You'll take a strain. Joa, you're not overly affected, but it is still quite a clawing atmosphere to breathe in. There's just a dryness seems to suck any moisture out of your mouth and windpipe and make it quite uncomfortable as you're moving around.
So as I cough and splutter, I pull out my breather and put it in.
Oh, nice. Yep.
I'm sick of trying to be tough and admit defeat and put the breather.
I'll put my breather on then as well, because even though I'm coping, it's probably better to make less of a hassle of it.
Yep, sounds good. All right, so whack your breathers on. head back to the spaceport. You arrive back at the docking bay where your ship is ported. And as you make your way in, you see that there are a number of goons, would be the best way to describe them, flanking either side of the entrance into the docking bay. They note your approach as you note their presence, and you can see they clear their hands away from their weapons and cross them just in front of themselves, so they're not making an obvious aggressive display. And further into the docking bay as you move in, your YT obviously perched inside. You can see a Drow, very much like Greco, dressed though in a fine tailored, what looks like a fine tailored suit, and covered with a rather flamboyant sash, and carrying a cane. And he's currently talking to a few of his compatriots who are with him.
Didn't know they wore clothes. So, okay. He must have right.
Says the droid only wearing a hat.
He wears an apron too.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm in the Wild West here.
Touch oily.
So, how many goons does this droll brought with him?
You can see that there are 4 by the door, so there are 2 on either side, and then there's probably half a dozen inside, just sitting around inside the hangar. And you can see the Droll in there talking to one of his accomplices.
So it's approaching
as-
night, isn't it?
Evening.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
Evening.
getting quite late now. Yeah.
As we're moving forward, I noticed this group there. I'm going to slow down and try and get into the shadows.
Not a problem. As I said, they've sort of noted you coming.
They've already seen us, so I don't
they've-
bother them.
Yeah, they've seen you coming, as you've noted them. It's not overly busy. There are people moving around. It's, as I said, it's quite late, probably about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And there are people moving around, but it's quite, it's a lot more quiet than it was during the day. And as you sort of take note of their presence, they take note of your approach. They make sure to visibly clear their hands away from their weapons. Obviously, a display that is meant to imply a lack of threat. And they, have their hands crossed basically over their chests, but otherwise their weapons are clear.
I suppose I'll step forward and talk to the droll, address him at a distance, saying if he's here to buy the ship, I'm afraid it's not for sale.
You can see the droll turns around to take you in as you sort of step up. You're sort of, in order to make your speech, you're sort of standing, just shy of the doorway, and you've got the 2 on your left and the 2 on your right. As you say that, and you can see the droll chuckle to himself. He rather over dramatically flings the cane into the ground where it bounces, and snatches it back out of the air and strolls towards you. and he says, "Welcome, welcome."
So you own this place or what?
You're you're a bit late. If this is a welcoming party, we've already been here practically a day.
Oh, I'm well aware. You've already met some of my employees at a warehouse in town, as I understand.
Uh, I'd like to commend you on your very professional employees. We seem to get ourselves lost and stepped into the wrong warehouse there, and they were very accommodating.
He spreads his hands wide and says, "Understandable, mistakes happen. I'm glad that the two men of mine are perfectly safe, if a little bit ruffled by the experience."
Well, then what are you here for?
Well, I have business interests in around Foremost system. It just so happens that I'm in need of some assistance at the moment. Convenient that you happened to pop up on my radar as you did.
Well, I believe we're always happy to offer our services depending on what the work entails.
He nods and says, "Excellent, excellent." He says, "My name is Gustip. Pleasure to meet you. It is, as I understand, Jala, Heathen, Mazota, and M89 from memory."
Someone's done that homework.
One doesn't get into a position like mine without doing a little bit of research.
Well, you know our names. What's yours?
My name is Gustip. I am a merchant, businessman in this area. I have business
We've had
interests both
many
on
revolutions
Foremost and
in
the
how we
surrounding
manage our-
systems.
Okay. And what do you want us to do?
Well, it just so happens that I'm in need of a ship and a crew.
Do you want to get off this rock?
Oh, no. If I needed that, I have opportunity enough. No, I have need of a crew to dance the Four Brothers Shuffle. Perhaps you know it as the family reunion.
So you want
Yeah.
someone brought here or someone brought somewhere else?
One of you can roll a law underworld. It's going to be hard.
I have actually got lore underworld.
Oh.
Nope.
You unfortunately have not heard of this.
Can I? I'll play dumb, and because first of all, I don't actually know what he's talking about, but I'll make it out like I do, and say now you have to excuse my friends here, but they're not as well educated in some of these terms. Maybe speak a bit plainer for them.
He smiles with a knowing sort of wink and says, "Indeed. The Four Brothers Shuffle is a smuggling route. When cargo is placed on your ship, the system. Getting from location to location is accomplished via a series of hyperspace micro jumps. You'll be given a case, a spacer's chest. At each transfer, the recipient will give it a seal. I will meet you at the end, and if I see all three seals intact, I know the job has been done. If you lose or tamper with the chest, well, then we will have need of further words."
But we wouldn't be very good smugglers if we tampered or looked at the goods we were shipping.
"I've heard that you are fast. I'm told that in the Four Brothers Shuffle, having a fast time ensures bragging rights among your sort."
Well, we would do our best, of course. We wouldn't want to disappoint.
Excellent. So I can count on you for assistance in this matter.
We, yeah. As my colleague here has pointed out, we would be remiss to accept a job offer without knowing what the recompense would be.
Oh, of course, of course. Now, listen, I've had to take into account certain matters, smoothing the invasion of the warehouse over with the Imperial investigators. I think 2,000 credits?
No.
No?
No.
Interesting.
No.
I do like your ship. It appears that it's had some modifications since it was borrowed from... Was it Yard of the Hutt, Heathen?
And what's your point?
Oh, I'm just wondering how he would feel about the ship as it stands now. Doubtless worth more than it was when it was borrowed in the first place.
He knows I've got it. I'm repaying the debt. So what's your point?
And the people on the ship that went with you.
Are you threatening me?
Oh, I'm not in the business of making threats.
Well,
Merely
it
a
sounds like
business
you
offer.
I don't like being threatened. That's a point.
Well, as I say, this is merely a discussion, an opening to negotiation. I offered 2,000. You flatly refused.
No, it's not enough.
Tradition would dictate a counteroffer. I'm merely suggesting that there are other points in play which may be worth considering.
You can cover all refueling costs from here to there and back again.
What my colleague is saying is, for 2,000, we would expect the refueling costs to also be included as an additional fee.
Understood. Would you like to roll a negotiate?
Can I use charm instead? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll roll the charm now. I get I remove setback dice from that with kill with kindness.
Oh, nice.
One.
Yep. What I'll do is I'll use that to downgrade the check. Hang on.
Yep. And I can spend triumph to gain an additional success from Smooth Talker as well, just in case that comes up. Is that ready to roll?
It is indeed. He's a formidable negotiator.
The triumph.
So that means success, but there's 2 threat.
That is correct.
So I've got 2 successes effectively.
Which
Yep.
Two
Triumph to go in a second. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I'm assuming it's spent to do that, unless I can spend it on something else.
Does
Spend
the
triumph.
talent stipulate that it gets spent? That you can spend
When making checks with charm, I can spend triumph to gain additional successes equal to my ranks in Smooth Talker, which is 1.
Yep. So yes, you can spend that triumph to gain an extra success. So you'd have 2 successes and 2 threats.
Yeah. Yeah, might as well.
Yep, not a problem. After some discussion, and he seems to warm to you well, Jala, you managed to bargain him up to 4,000 credits.
That's a 200% increase there. I'd like to point out to everyone who's paying attention.
Is that still including the fuel costs, or
Naturally.
that's probably almost
4,000 plus fuel costs?
I think we can see our way to covering your ship's berth in this spaceport of mine.
Perfect.
Excellent.
He probably owns the building, so it costs him nothing to give it to us. But that's a separate bonus.
It could be lost revenue.
Yeah.
lost income.
He passes you a data packet, which includes a rendezvous point, and that is in orbit, and a meeting time, which is tomorrow.
What time tomorrow?
Mid-morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So he gives you the coordinations for the first meeting place, and tells you that on the morrow you'll get the cargo that needs to be delivered, as well as the rendezvous points for those cargoes. No. Yeah. What you could do is research this smuggling route. The Four Brother Shuffle has a name that he kind of expected you to have heard of, and it would be possible to do some research on that and find out a little bit about what it is. If you're happy for business to be concluded, he will bow. He sort of breathes on the top of his the large ruby at the top of his cane, and then polishes it with his sleeve, nods gently to each of you, and then, followed by his men, departs.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, we need to. That's the ETA's tomorrow morning. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
This is true.
Do we take the opportunity at night to follow up? Because it was a warehouse we were given directions to, wasn't it?
Yep.
I've got a feeling that the guy that we're going to be trying to track down is a smuggler as well. So the points that we come along and meet people through this little journey we're going to be taking, we might be able to make some questions and reinforce our background.
And if you do a little bit of research on the Four Brother Shuffle,
Yep.
which is also known locally as a family reunion at times,
Yep.
it makes extensive use of micro jumps.
Yep.
Micro jumps are traditionally used by the military. They place quite a lot of strain on the ship, or they can do. They're not easy astrogation checks to make. They're hard. And because of the extremely small windows that we're talking about, all such checks suffer setback. Having said that,
I got
these
2 setbacks on astrogation checks.
this Four Brother Shuffle, in game terms, should be able to be done. Like, there are smugglers locally that boast of having done it in as many as 20, what the equivalent of 20 game rounds. So probably about half an hour to 40 minutes.
No, it's just one day thing. Micro jumps can be, 2 minutes in hyperspace or less.
Yeah, it can be almost instantaneous.
You put the hyperdrive on, you switch it off. Yeah.
Yeah, but it can drain the engine.
Yeah, it's not good for your ship.
This
We've
ship
got
won't quit. Oh no!
a gun mechanic as well, haven't we? Yeah.
Excellent. So, is there anything else that did you want to do? Any more research? Did you want to,
Do we want to pitch that item?
Which item?
From the warehouse?
No.
It was a data pad, wasn't it?
Well, that's what the Twi'leks wanted us to steal.
Yeah.
But
in a particular warehouse.
didn't we have another piece of information that was really relevant to something? And
Yeah, reference to the same warehouse.
Yes, Daro Blunt.
Oh, it's nearly guaranteed.
That's my job description.
Yeah,
I would.
yeah. So the next contact, the person who was collecting payments from that bar that we might have upset. Yeah,
Yep.
He had a safe house in Warehouse 23, which is separate to the data pad that the Twi'leks wanted us to steal, right?
Yeah.
That was a separate warehouse.
Did the Twi'leks and their friend up and
the same warehouse, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, it was the same warehouse.
All right, that's a detail I missed.
Giles, when I explained to the Twi'leks and their friend that maybe they want to leave town, do they skedaddle?
They left the Regenx cantina. Yes.
That's Steve.
They left as soon as it was suggested it was a good idea they leave. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Remembering as well that Daro Blunt is supposedly, like many of the goons and so forth in this area, are lackeys of Bandin Dobar.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what we were kind of hoping to find that next step to follow, basically.
Yep. So you're welcome to go to the warehouse now. The alternative is to rest and then to follow up doing the shuffle on the following day. But then you are, of course, leaving yourself with less time to deal with the warehouse or whatever it might, if you're worried about time being of the essence in that regard.
Do we feel like approaching Warehouse 23 at night?
I think we're going to have to do it at night regardless, but whether we do it tonight or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yes.
This is so you've got a choice.
So here's the thing: we don't have to complete the hyper jumps the fastest that it's ever done. That's just him baiting us. We could just do it. We could just do it. We could do it. Still do micro jumps, but we can take our time with them and make sure that we don't stuff them up to try and reduce the risk.
It's something like over.
Mazzota's pretty sure he can do it. No worries. No worries at all.
Well, we've not even been up 24 hours at this point. Like pulling one all-nighter should be achievable.
Oh, it's achievable. It
I don't think it'll be an all-nighter. We'll be in and out quick.
you have, by the same token, had a fairly busy time of it. Being both very physically active and in a relatively high stress situation. So, all of those things do take their toll. And if you do burn the midnight oil tonight, so to speak, and again, you're looking at going into a potentially stressful situation, then there's every chance that tomorrow might require some resilience checks, or it might require some setback die or something like that, depending.
We'll be fine,
so-
I'm sure.
We've got stim packs. We've got stim packs.
Excellent. So I'm hearing that we are going to raid the warehouse. Is this what I'm hearing?
I think. And ideally,
Preferably get in and out without anyone knowing we've been there.
Yeah. Well, or at least because Daro's our best lead to the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And our possible best lead to finding Mazzotta's sister. Which is the first reason I'm here.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, guys.
This is true.
Yeah. So let's go. So, by the way, I don't do quiet or sneaky.
Excellent. So you're going to head to
Warehouse 23.
this warehouse 23. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely bring the judge.
Very loud.
No, we don't want to attract any attention. We preferably get in and out without them even knowing we've been there. The original mission was a sneaky theft, so that was probably not a bad plan.
So Larry, you for 8, I don't do sneaky or quiet. Okay, I'll stand back quietly then.
We've got comms, so I can call in the reinforcements if required, but we might be able to pull this off. Well, I think so. I'm not quite sure yet.
Alrighty then.
Excellent. All right. So you're going to make your way to this warehouse 23.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
We were told there was some surveillance of that warehouse as well, wasn't there? So we won't just approach completely, like blankly. We'll try and approach in a way where we can see what kind of surveillance there is.
Yeah, I want to slink into the shadows and approach that warehouse without being seen, if possible.
Yep. Not a problem. Well, did you want to scout ahead? Do you want to all approach? You hit a certain point and move ahead. How do you want?
Yeah, I reckon what do you reckon, guys? If I move ahead
Yeah.
a little bit ahead of you, I've got comms. We can.
Yeah, and you got that sneaky thing.
Yep. Alrighty. We will. You make your way sort of back almost towards the Regenk's Cantina. Warehouse 23 is nearby that area. As you sort of approach, you can see that there are various floodlights in and around that particular warehouse, as well as obviously some of the other surrounding warehouses. Just a security thing. Sort of getting close enough to make much of the security details is going to be a hard test with a setback die.
Yep. And what skill am I using?
Well, are you using stealth?
Yep.
Yep. Do you have any talents that are relevant?
I do. They're already plugged into it.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, that is ready to roll when you are. Oh, beautiful.
Boy.
All right, you approach the warehouse. You're keeping to the thickest of the shadows. There are people moving around, heading sort of to the cantina, back home. You know, just this area, even though it's partially industrial, with the presence of the Regenx Cantina and a few other cantinas in the area, is a little bit busier than you might expect, and certainly a little bit busier than you would have, or that you found around the spaceport. You notice a couple of people around the sort of open area in front of and near the warehouse that you are particularly interested in, and that's that large square warehouse near a cantina, bunch of other things in the area. And you, as I said, you sort of make your way over there. You manage to keep to the shadows, and you're pretty certain that nobody will have seen you. What is the rest of the party doing while Mazoda is moving forward? I like it. Can I get a perception, please, Mazoda? I've put in 2 boost die based on the advantage that you also rolled.
Perception. Yep. Ooh.
What you notice is that the warehouse looks like it is surrounded by floodlights. You see at one point a couple of people go into the warehouse. There was some sort of knock that they used on the door, but you didn't quite catch it. Aside from that, you don't see any other obvious security. That advantage, however, lets you spot as you're sort of skulking in the shadows, lets you spot Toydarian fluttering down the road past where you came from. And you can hear him muttering as you sort of duck down, and he flutters past without so much as noticing you. But that advantage, you can hear him muttering to himself as he goes past. And he says, "I'm sure it was them," as he sort of flutters past. A robot in a hat like that is is unusual. And you can see he's making his way to the warehouse.
You're right. It could be a robot in a top hat. I've definitely seen one before. Does that so Mazota is obviously close enough to get a good look at the warehouse itself and the surrounding area? Are we too far away to really spot anything? Like, I'm just keeping my eye out for anything that.
Yeah, you guys sort of said you're going to hang well back, so you've sort of let Mazota move quite a bit forward. So you're probably, a couple of streets away, and whether Mazota was going to ping you with his comlink or come back, or whatever you had worked out. But I gathered, when I asked before whether you guys were moving up or keeping back, you'd said you were keeping back. So I'd say out of sight. just to give Mazoda that opportunity to approach, sort of case the place and make note of any security systems that might be something to concern yourselves with.
Yeah, so I've got my comm link on, so I'll be relaying information very quietly as I see it.
Does anyone have any way of hacking, like security feeds or their comms in a way? Like,
Yeah, I hit one. I steal their comm link.
You could. The Toydarian now reaches the warehouse, Mazoda, and raps a quick rhythm on the door. Again, not 100%. Something like a typical sort of knock of some sort. You can hear something slide back, then close again. The door opens and the Toydarian flutters in. You could sneak up and see if you could overhear anything, see if there's any windows that you could sort of get a peek.
Yeah, I'll be trying to see if there's another way in besides that front door, but I really need to figure out that code. Maybe we send heathen through the front door.
Yep. So did you want to sneak up closer and see if you can sort of spot a...
Yeah.
All right, not a problem. The difficulty set, again, it's hard with a setback.
It's a stealth again.
It is indeed. Oh, wow. Yeah. So you go to move out into the alleyway and then note that there is what looks like a camera pointed back down. You didn't see it before because it's sort of well concealed in some signage just above the door. You move back and then around the building, around behind the field of vision of the camera, which sort of points down the street back this way towards that open area there. So you move yourself back around to the back side of the building here and down in between this very narrow sort of alleyway here. There's a bunch of trash and other things at the back there. You can see that there are a number of doors. There are 3 doors to this warehouse overall, and a number of windows, although the windows all have a sort of almost a metal louvers covering them. And at one, you pause and you can overhear some voices inside.
Can I get closer to that window to try and listen in?
Yeah, absolutely. You can. One of the panels is one of the louvers in this window is slightly bent, which means that the sound is traveling a little bit better. First of all, you hear a gruff voice. I mean, I want to pay them back for spear anyhow. But are you sure it's anything that should be of concern to the big man? You can hear a reply. I couldn't be sure. It seemed that they're mixed in with things somehow. They're new in town, been asking questions, checking the bounty notice. I thought I heard them say something about a missing droid, but I could be wrong. They were getting themselves pretty cozy with a Rhodian girl as well, if you know what I mean. And it's good you let us know. Here's a token of appreciation. And you can hear some other sounds going on. There's some sounds of other people in the warehouse. There's the sound of maybe a heavy tool of some sort being used. And at the same time, you can hear the door open again and then close.
So can I peek in there and see anything?
You could try and peek through the louvers, although while they are bent, the louvers that are built around this warehouse are designed in such a way as to prevent said peeking. But yes, you could absolutely see if you could do that. It's going to be a hard check, but I will give you a boost die for the fact that the louvers where you are slightly out of place, and it's a perception check.
Ugh.
Nice. You see briefly into the warehouse. It looks pretty filthy inside. There, you sort of catch sight of one person walks across the front of the window. You can hear some small talk inside. The room that you're looking into, there's a bunch of sort of debris and crap littering the floor. You know, that's about that. At one point, you think you hear the sound of a droid, and then there's the sound of some various tools and things like that being used.
All right, so I'll slip back down a bit out of sight again and relay all this information back to the other guys. See what should we do?
Yep. All right,
Looks like
Mazzotta arrives out of the shadows, back at you guys, and he comes bearing information.
I'm happy to kick the door down.
Do we know how many people are inside there? Just
so how many would have I?
yeah.
You think that there is at least two, although you know, well, you know that two went in while you were watching, as well as a Toydarian. You think that someone left, probably the Toydarian, because you didn't hear footsteps when the door opened and closed at the end there. You think that there, that there's at least 2 to 3 people, probably more inside the building. It sounded like there were things happening in various places inside the building, but it wasn't clear enough. The place was, the room you're looking into was dark first of all, and littered with junk, and it was not easy to make anything out.
You did say there was a droid in there, most likely.
Yes.
I'm looking for a droid as well, so doesn't guarantee it's the droid we're looking for. Do you reckon you can animate that knock again for them?
I didn't quite catch it, but maybe.
Yeah, well, close enough, good enough, isn't it? What if they open the door for us?
Yeah. Would we be able to sneak Heathen to the side of the door while we try this knock?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm happy to go with you.
You can come around the back of that warehouse where out of the field of view of the camera. However, whoever it is that makes their way to the door is going to be in view of the camera.
Can I borrow you a duster, mate? I know it's a big ask.
Unless we want to try and... It sounded like the door had a bolt on it, though, didn't it? Rather than
Yeah. Got to get the knock right.
Security, we could...
Where? Okay.
Oh.
I'll try to avoid getting any holes in it, okay? Yeah.
Now, they're probably going to ask who we're here to see. Who are we here to see?
Daro?
The information for Daro.
We have information for Daro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you stand out too much. Well, if you stand at a vantage point where you can see the doorway and you can get a clear shot, that'd be helpful. Because that, well, you don't have your rifle, do you? Oh.
Did that Toydarian come back out again and leave?
Yeah, the Toydarian came back out and left. Yes.
I say we go knock on the door, see if we can emulate a knock, and then see if we can get ourselves inside.
Is that Twidarian's not around still?
No, Toydarian left while you were still around the back of the warehouse, you think? Certainly whoever came out of the warehouse is gone. As I said before, there are people moving around in the area. These warehouses, this is an industrial area and Foremost doesn't sleep. However, it's certainly not as many as there would be during the day. And some of those people are patronising the cantina.
Yeah, I'll try and talk my way in. I'm not going to...
Maybe Giles.
Yeah, so I can...
Yeah, maybe right. I'll use it. Grab the dust and I'll end out of sight out of the camera. But where I can get close enough that if anything goes wrong, I can get in and help you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just...
you want to edge yourself as close to the door as you can without being in the field of view of the camera.
Yeah.
And when Jala manages to talk the door open, in the hope that Jala manages to talk the door open, you intend to barrel in. Am I reading the situation correctly?
From me, yes. I'm not sure anyone else's situation is, but that's what I'm doing.
It's an old plan, but it checks out.
Old bird, but it checks out.
Right, so I'm wearing the duster, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll bring it back as good as it was, if not better.
I like it.
On the upside, mate, he's less likely to make holes in it than me. She is.
Excellent. All right, you make your way to the door, Jala.
Yeah, just a quick question. Is there what kind of standard bolting system would there be on a warehouse locked door like that?
You're not sure. It may be a sliding bolt on the far side, as Mazota described, but you also can see that in the door there is a view slit that has got. It looks like it slides open and closed as well. So that sliding open and closed may have been the view slit. But usually a warehouse door will have some sort of electronic lock on the inside of it. There's certainly a keypad on the outside for a key card or a code.
All right, before I get there, I'm just gonna grab some dirt off the ground and make my hair and face a little bit dirtier.
Okay.
Just so I don't look too recognizable straight up.
Yep.
And then I'll walk over to the door and bang on it.
Are you attempting to emulate some sort of pattern, or are you just banging on the door?
More like a panicked banging, like some urgency in it, not a particular pattern.
So you want to try and emulate what I may have heard?
Did you actually hear a particular pattern, or was it just like...
I didn't catch it fully, but I had a pretty good idea.
Now I'm gonna go with I'm gonna try and sell a nervous knocking, like a rapid knocking, like I need assistance straight away.
Yep. Not a problem. Can I? First of all, you sidle and move it, move up to the door. The last probably 2 to 3 meters of that, you sort of stumble, run into the field of view of the camera, and then bang on the door in a sort of an appropriately panicked, tone. You can hear on the inside the sound of movement, of sudden movement, and then that movement quietens down. And then a couple of seconds later, the view slit in the door, which is at sort of head height for you, is slid open, and you can see a gruff face on the other side of it. Who are you?
I need help. I've got information on that the crew that attacked the cantina.
That attacked the cantina.
Yeah.
You can hear. I'm going to give you. Let's go with an average check. I was going to make it hard, but I think going for that is a good ploy. So, did you want to roll a charm for me, please?
Definitely.
Beautiful. And you can spend that to become the success that you might need, if you'd like.
Yes.
You're successful. You can see that whoever it is behind the door is obviously eager to hear of news. They've just been, if this is the same person Mazzoda overheard earlier, they were just discussing this very band of miscreants and wondering whether it was something they need to trouble the big man with, whoever that might be. And you can hear the sound of some sort of key code being punched and a bolt unlocking on the inside of the door. He pulls the door open, and you can see a rather tall, thickly sort of set, youngish man, maybe edging towards 30. Blonde, with a beard and a healthy crop of sort of spiked blonde hair, and pulls the door open and says, "Come in, come in."
As I start hearing the door unlocking, my hand kind of just drops and gives a quick hand signal to Heathen.
That's a go.
And then I kind of, as I'm looking at, I'm trying to keep his eyes on me so he doesn't see Heathen approach.
Following towards the doorway.
I'm kind of like, I'll step, if Heathen's back to my right, I'll step to the left, as to the guy's left as I'm coming into the warehouse.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
To just take his eyes with me, and then like I'll act all shook up and shaken.
Not a problem. You, as the door is flung open, you stumble inside to the left, and you can see, he obviously turns to follow you, and you can see he sort of reaches out a hand to steady you as you stumble, and says, "What happened?"
I think they're coming. Just as Heathen hopefully is coming.
Goes to the doorway.
All right. Can I get then? Now seems an appropriate time for us to roll some initiative. Can I just give me a second before I just want to clear the dice pool?
Vigilance?
Yeah. Can I get some vigilance? Yep. You're prepared.
Where's my vigilance gone? Cool. Yeah, cool if we're prepared, right?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
How'd we go? Ooh, blimey.
Oh, 2.
Who rolled that?
Carla. She cool.
I'll say. As the proverbial cucumber.
Yes. She's out of the icebox.
All right. So, is that everybody? We need one more person.
We need mate. Who's going to be right back?
Oh, yeah, not a problem. Is he going to go to the loo or something?
I don't know. You said be right back too.
All right, I might pop for a second. I'm just going to nip to the loo myself, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Sorry.
At least we're all going at the same time.
I need an initiative check. Tamo? Yeah. The door is open and Hethan's entering the front door in his usual manner. Sorry?
We're literally at the point where Heathen's about to get through the door.
Yeah, cool. Or
Yeah, we're prepared, aren't we?
Or vigilant, sorry.
Nice rolling. All right, so a stealth approach hasn't worked. The normal approach from now on.
No, you gleaned valuable information. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Glad I finally got to use that stealth roll.
Yeah, you stealthed like a champ.
Yeah. My stealth's pretty good.
You're a very sneaky man.
Heathen bursts in, and what heathen is in your hands?
I'll have my pistol drawn in my offhand, but knuckle duster's in the go. I don't want to
Not a
say bang, I want to say thump.
Yep, not a problem.
Where is it? Is it ready?
Hang on, I just need to...
Wow.
Bloody hell.
Oh.
How many NPCs are there?
A few.
Yeah. Hopefully one less very soon.
Just out of curiosity, how loud is the area? Blasters going off going to be heard?
It certainly will be. In the immediate vicinity, yes.
That's what I thought.
It's not wholly unusual. Formos is while there's a Casset Imperial control, it's also a fairly lawless sort of place as well. So, swings and roundabouts. Excellent. All right. So you burst in. Heathen, are you taking that first initiative slot?
Yeah, preferably. Being on that
what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that down. One, because of the surprise, and I'll put it back into its appropriate initiative slot afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll have Jala take the first slot with her stumbling in and distracting the villain at the door.
Yep.
And that second slot, which is earned through surprise, you can take Heathen.
Oh, yeah. How far from the doorway was I? Like, is it a barrel run or is it?
Yeah, it would have been, because you would have been about 3.5 meters from the door.
Oh, okay. So I'm at speed moving.
Yes.
Oh, charge into him, try and knock him down, out, bit of both.
Not a problem.
Ready? It's your nice static target for me, nice easy target.
He sounds like he's pretty big. Just aim for center mass. You should be all right.
Yep, just an average check. So 8 damage inflicted minus whatever soak yon fellow has.
Yep. And he is disorientated for 3.
Nice. Why is this? Sorry, there's. Trying to pull a token onto the board, and it's just not doing me any favors here.
Is he big? Is that Jala or?
Yep.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
As you burst in through the door and give yon fellow a good pizzling, he stumbles back as you have done so.
On top of him, and I'd rather have the weapon pointed at his face once he's like the offhand weapon pointed at him.
Not a problem. He sort of stumbles backwards, manages somehow to keep his feet, but is obviously pretty disorientated with that blow to the head or wherever it may have been. You sort of move up after him also. The others, is everyone else piling in?
Yep.
Who am I missing?
Shit, this one.
I'd hope so.
I imagine Heathen is the first one in, probably followed by Mizota, and then yourself last.
Yep. Alrighty. So we've got PCs acted. That was Jala, followed by Heathen. The NPC there at 4-1, you can hear a yell from elsewhere in the building. Obviously, somebody is watching some security footage as everyone started piling in, because the yell from elsewhere inside the warehouse comes at about the same time, Heathen, as you burst in through the door. And you can see a sort of an Aqualish stumble up into this open area at the top here and sort of goggle at the unfolding scene. before they attempt to take a shot at you. Now, from memory,
Is that disadvantage if he's in because I'm engaged?
yeah, that's what I was just looking. Do you remember off the top of your head what it is? I got the
Yeah,
GM.
he gets, difficulty increases by 1.
Yeah.
And I have a defense of 1, which adds a black dice to his
Yep. Beautiful.
setback.
Excellent. All right. All righty. So the shot misses wide. Now, does that miss hit?
No, I
miss
don't think
him?
so.
No, there is something along those lines.
That's a fail. So I think he hits his friend. I'm not sure.
Was it that or was it disadvantage? If they roll disadvantage, I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's go with the rule of cool, which is that he shoots his friend.
Because it's a fail.
So they've taken 8 damage. Sorry. Alrighty. You can see the blaster bolt just sizzles past your shoulder and collects your the person that you're engaged with in the upper arm. Sort of a slice through that upper arm, and has obviously caused a little bit more damage to them. Nothing overly severe, but a little bit more damage. That is their act. You can hear the sound of other people in the building start to move around. You're not sure how many exactly that is, or that are in the building, but you can certainly hear the sound of other people moving around in the building. And
oh God, there's a giant rodent.
Giant rodent. He's mine. Got a special thing for rodents.
Well, it seems like there's going to be plenty for you to deal with.
Excellent.
Am I still a little bit in the staggering victim role, Giles, or?
I think, yeah, it's all happened pretty quickly. You staggered in, distracted him. He then burst through the door, gave him one to the side of the head. The Aqualish, who had been alerted by a yell elsewhere in the building, sort of popped through the door with the blaster drawn. They've got a quick draw, and popped off a shot. So all of that's happened. I think you're still sort of, reeling about the place.
Good. Is there like anything in this room, or is it just a big empty room?
There are there's a bunch of just sort of, shelving. There's some containers that look for the most part like they're empty. There's a couple of seats and things like that, but otherwise it's pretty well empty.
Okay, cool.
Who's taking the next slot? Mazota, I think you probably next in.
Yeah, so he's shot a weapon, has he?
The Aqualish is fired off the top. Yep.
I guess I'll be taking a shot at him. Whips out my blaster rifle.
Yep. I sort of assume that you all probably were, weapons hot when you came storming through the door. So you won't need to take a maneuver to prepare anything, to prepare.
Yep.
It will be your maneuver to get through the door, however, and you can take your action as a shot. You could take a strain to take an extra maneuver if you wanted to.
I'll probably just take the shot, I reckon, at this stage.
Yep, not a problem. feel free whenever you are ready.
So I do have a custom grip on this thing.
Yep.
Which removes one setback.
Nice. Excellent. I was going to add a setback in there for the fact that everything at the moment, it's just an absolute tumult with you bursting through the door and everything going on. But I will remove that from the pool. Otherwise, it's just at a short range. So that is just it's an easy shot.
Ouch.
What damage does it normally do?
10.
Oh.
Brutal.
Excellent. And what's the crit rating on it?
3.
Right. So what do you want to do with the advantage? You could put a setback die on their next action, cause them strain.
You probably a setback die on the next action.
Yep. Not a problem. Excellent. And M8, you are last through the door. Yep, you can do your.
I'm asking very polite.
You could use your action, your second action, as your second maneuver to get into the building, or you could choose to take a strain and use those 2 maneuvers to get yourself into the building and take an action. Yep, it'll cost you a strain. And who are you going to shoot? The handsome fellow with the bloody jaw or the Aqualish? He has a blaster pistol, yes, in one hand. Blaster pistol in the second hand as well, but he's only fired off the first. Yep. Yep. Yep, that's correct. You've used 2 maneuvers to get into the building. What was that? Sorry?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh. Is there a success in there?
No, the success has been counted by the
difficulty. Yeah. All right.
So you get the triumph.
You've got a triumph, and you've got their 4 advantage. So feel free to use any of those. The shot sizzles a little wide. How, where, and what effect it has. You can feel free to use that triumph and advantage to
Blast his weapon. Take his weapon out.
Yeah.
Yeah, crash you.
Not a problem. So he's got 2 blaster pistols, as I said. One up that he was pointing in the direction of Heathen, but turned out more to be in the direction of his friend. And you've fired off a shot, and it is just gone straight through the barrel of the pistol, and the useless weapon flies out of his hand, and he reels back as the blaster pistol gets blasted in his hand.
No, they're all locked. I think all the character pieces.
Are they?
Yeah. Release them for us. You might put them on the GM level or something.
Shivers. Yeah, no, I've stuffed that up. I've put them all on the wrong layer.
It's not hard for us to do. Just take them off.
You can right click and change layer.
And I can bring ourselves on. We can bring ourselves on.
How do you bring yourself on?
You just grab your character off your character page from the thing and just drag it across and drop them down.
Hey.
You're a bit big, but anyway.
Goes with my ego. It's fine.
He's huge! Where's Oracular's gone? He's run away.
He's coming back, don't you worry.
Do we know anything about what Daro is? His race?
No, you just know that he's supposedly the big man in this area.
That seems like an awful oversight on our part.
He's the one that collects the blood money.
Yeah.
The name like Daro, probably human.
Yeah, we have a lack of oversight in every sense of the word.
So is that all of us? It is.
I think so.
Ouch. We can see their health there, Giles, too.
Yep. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
Oops, I've stuffed his up. Yeah, I'm just trying to put in their health so you can see how you're going. All right, so we've basically chewed through the initiative order. Those left to act, you can see one is a Rhodian here, moves his way up into the doorway here. He's going to take a shot at Mazota, who seems to be the closest in the doorway. And then the other two who were further back in the building sort of make their way closer up to the front here as well. So
oh, some of them just goons, are they?
What's that?
Some of them just goons.
None of them are minions, no.
Oh, okay. You've got 5 of them. 5 characters, but only 4 NPC slots. That's the initiative.
Oh, do I? There should be 5 NPC slots.
Yeah.
What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, there is 4 NPCs.
Yeah.
But you've got 5 guys.
No, you've got 4 NPC slots. Oh, there is 5, sorry. 2 at the top. I missed the first one. There's only 1 at the top.
He's going to shot at me. I'm going to use dodge. I'll suffer 1 strain to upgrade the difficulty of the combat check.
Yep, not a problem. So he's going to take a shot at you.
Yep.
That shot is... Where are we? 8 damage minus upgrade. Sorry, you upgraded the difficulty, didn't you?
Yes.
My apologies. I will
one.
re-roll that. That's a fail. However, the blaster bolt sizzles close by your hand, and you are going to drop your weapon, Mazota, onto the ground. You're going to need to pick it up.
Yep.
And you will take 2 strain. It didn't destroy the weapon. He's a crap copycat. I just can't respect it. Very good. All right. And we are back to the top of the initiative order there. I'm going to move that NPC back into the appropriate spot. And who is going to take that top initiative slot?
Oh, I'm happy for someone else to go if they want.
I'm happy to leave the combating to the combats.
Yeah.
Willy-nilly? Yep. And that adds another blue dice then. Yep. Is that included on your weapon sheet? Yep. Excellent. So that blue die will be automatically added in. Am I right in assuming that? All right, cool. All right, well, I've added in 2 blue die there. There's a setback die because in between you and the Rhodian are a number of people in the middle of a tussle, one of which is a good friend of yours who you do not want to hit. But you are free to take the shot on the Rhodian there. Oh, the Acolish? Yep, not a problem. I'm going to just source up the odds here a little.
Thanks for that light side point. We need that.
I aim to please. So that is ready to roll whenever you are.
Oh, he's very uncomfortable with that too. He's extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. He
13.
rightio. 16 damage.
Is that a former Aquilish there?
Plonk.
I like how both of the blue dice you added nothing, and the dark side dice added nothing.
Yeah. That what a waste of dark side point.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we currently got an ex-Aquilish on the ground. That blaster bolt's just absolutely seared straight through him. And he crumples to the ground rather dramatically. I think that warrants a setback for the mental health of his compatriots who have just witnessed that. And it is now to the second NPC. Now, what was the effect you had on this fellow here, Heathen?
He has a setback dice, and any action he takes for his next 3 actions.
Excellent. All right. Well, he's going to attempt to brawl you. he's got a setback die on that due to his the stunned effect that you had on him. He's got a setback die due to the fact that one of his compatriots has just been blown away in front of him in rather a brutal fashion.
Oops.
And he is rolling. So he manages to land a blow. What do we got? That's going to be 7 damage minus whatever your soak is.
I smile at him.
Oh,
Yeah.
everybody else around you is like, don't smile. Don't.
Like this.
Oh, God. Excellent. All right. That's that. They've taken their action. They've taken a swing at you, obviously trying to, while they take a swing at you, you can, the look on his face is just absolutely incandescent with rage. And he yells, "Look, you idiots! You got no idea who you're dealing with. Drop your weapons. We'll go easy on you."
Likewise. The Rhodian's got a second weapon, or has he got a weapon out?
What's that?
That Rhodian's got a weapon drawn, hasn't he?
He does.
Yeah, I'm going to step into him.
So you've just been punched by the fellow in front of you, and you're going to turn your back on him and take a swing at the Rhodian.
Yeah, I want to try and drag his attention off my friends.
All right, not a problem. Go for it.
I'll actually take a shot at him with a blaster pistol as I step in.
You can do that. Yep, not a problem. The difficulty is just easy. However, given the fact that you were engaged in combat, I'm going to add a setback die in there as well.
Yeah, it's the first time I've used this gun, so it's really exciting for me. It's got
not so much for the Rhodian.
No, it's just accurate. It's exciting for me because it's the first time I used this pistol. It's got accurate 3. I haven't got that put into my weapon, so you need to throw in 3 blue dice for me.
Yep, I can do that. Just give me a sec.
At some point, I'm going to need assistance making sure that my weapon's set up properly in terms of, because I'm assuming it's under the weapons category.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can add in any of the qualities and things like that it has, and they automatically get incorporated into the rolls that you make.
Right.
What adds a blue dice? What do I have to put in there?
If you put in accurate into the qualities, or whatever the quality is, then it should automatically add those in.
I'll try that now.
I'll try it, and then I'll take the blue dice out of the dice pool. If you put that into your character sheet and then give it a roll, if it works, then great. If it doesn't, then we can just roll those dice separately.
Yep. I just put an accurate 3. So Here we go. No, they didn't put them in. It says accurate 3, but that means there's 3 blue dice in there.
Yeah. Let's go. You want to roll? Just roll the dice pool.
Yep.
Excellent. So that's 11, 12 damage, 2 advantage, and a
Critical
roll. So you can crit plus 10.
Yep.
Or you can use those for further effect.
Crit is plus 30.
Crit's plus 30?
Yep.
Yep, we'll roll us a D100. So 106 on the critical. It doesn't sound like it's going to be good for the Rodian.
No, special
Is horrific injury. Can you roll a d10 for me?
sorry, D10.
Yep. 4 is a minus to his agility. So blast has hit him in the leg. You can see his leg gets taken out in the sense that, he's sort of standing, feet shoulders width apart, hands up, classic gunfighter sort of stance. Your shot takes him somewhere near the knee on the right leg. His leg sort of snaps sideways and he collapses down onto that one knee and cries out in pain as he does so. With the blaster bolt having seared through that joint and given him a pretty long-lasting and horrific injury that's going to need to be repaired. So you did 12 damage overall.
Yep. That's pierced one as well.
Pierce 1.
Yeah,
Not a problem. Excellent.
I'm pretty sure if any one of you decides to shoot me, I'm dead in one shot.
I promise not to shoot you.
I'm going to hold you to that later.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
I like it. All right. In amongst that, we've got, you can see, so first of all, this fellow here has taken a swing, Heathen, at you, and has managed to land a blow, but you've shrugged that off fairly well. You've sort of given him the fend off and then turned around and blasted the Rodian through the knee. He's collapsed down on the ground, sort of bellowing in pain as his right leg collapses underneath him. And you can hear the Rodian here bellow in rage and charge in and attempt to, for lack of a better phrase, muller you. Fisticuffs.
Yeah, it's going to brawl me. That's what I love.
He doesn't manage to land a blow, but what he does do, Heathen, you sort of, as you're there, you sort of get pushed back as he drives forward with a sort of flailing both fists wildly at you. He doesn't manage to really land anything that gives you pause, but you're going to take a strain and a setback die. You sort of fend him off.
Rather, he punked me. So I can laugh at him as well.
Excellent. All right, who's taking the next slot? We've got Jala, M8, and Mazota.
Yeah.
Jala and M8. Jala and Mazota.
Yeah, so I guess I'll be. So I've dropped my rifle, haven't I? So I've got to.
Yep.
So can I pick that up and make a shot, or is it just?
Yeah, you can picking it up is going to be a maneuver, so that will cost you. If you wanted to do anything else like aim or move or whatever else, then what's that?
a dive roll, pick up gun, aim at Rodian.
If you want to aim, it's going to be a strain, but you can certainly do, as I said, the rule of cool applies. So a sweet ass roll to pick up your weapon is absolutely on the cards. That's the only way to pick up a drop.
Yeah,
And he is
I
very
think-
upset.
and I guess because I'm searching for info on my sister as well, I'm willing to exert myself more than usual.
Yep. So you can take a strain to take your aim maneuver. It's going to give you a boost die in there. The difficulty is increased because the Rhodian that you're taking a shot at is engaged with Heathen.
Yep. Yeah, I think I've got the setback removing, but I'm not sure if it will or not.
Not a problem. I'm going to use one of those because I can.
Okay.
Oh, we've got 4 light side points now.
Oh yeah, drop that.
I've got to stop using dark side points. This is bullshit.
Gorgeous.
Was that just rolling and shooting and
When you use your weapon, do you use the weapon roll or do you use the skill roll, Josh?
No, I'm using the weapon roll.
So that's in the combat page.
Yep.
It should be
You
putting you
should
down
have-
there as well.
Yeah, if you've got all the boxes filled out, it should
Yeah.
come up with a list of damage and so forth that you inflict.
Yeah, I've got damage in there.
What's the crit rating again? 3, you said?
3 and
And the damage, was-
10, crit 3.
so 12 damage. And you can cause a critical if you want to. You could use an extra 2 advantage there to cause strain.
First
So you
option.
can just increase critical damage.
Well, you would need to have 6 advantage in there to add a 10 to the critical.
Oh, yeah, he does too, doesn't he? Yeah, because he's
Yep.
a 3, isn't it?
But be mindful, with a minion group and with a rival level NPC, strain is the same as damage.
So he's caused strain.
Okay,
These are not minion groups, but they are rivals.
we'll go the strain then.
Yeah, so that's going to be another 2 damage. And then you have caused, what did you say, 10, 11, 12 damage, 14 damage altogether. And a critical, you can roll that. The D100.
Yes, as well.
What makes it a critical?
The advantage there, so he's rolled 5 advantage, and he can use the critical rating of the weapon is 3, so he can use 3 advantage to activate a critical.
Gotcha. Yep.
And then he's got 2 advantage left over, and each one of those can be used to inflict 1 strain. The strain, because they're rivals, basically is another damage for each one that's inflicted.
Right. So each additional triumph not used for a critical becomes a damage and a strain, effectively. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Triumph are used a little bit differently. So a single triumph can be used to upgrade the difficulty of your next your target's next check, to upgrade another allied character's check, to do.
Sorry, I meant advantage. Yeah.
Advantage. Yeah, absolutely. So in a case like this, when it's a minion group or a rival group, you're almost, sometimes if you've got a high crit rating weapon, you're almost better to say, I'm going to use all of that advantage to inflict strain. Off balance adds a setback to their next die check. What we'll do, let's go with.
On your knees.
There's a setback indicator. Excellent. All right. So Mazzoda, you've done your roll across the ground there. Picked up your blaster rifle and taken a shot into the back of your opponent there.
Yep.
They've taken a fairly hefty amount of damage in a single shot, and you can see them they sort of hit the deck, sort of bounce back up almost as they do. The blast hits them, drops down almost onto knees and one of his hands before sort of trying to struggle back onto his feet. At that point, who is left to act? Jala.
Just me. I was tempted to try and use my inspiring rhetoric to help some of our guys recover strain. I think everyone's lost some strain, haven't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good because this heals one, which is lovely. So
boys.
yeah, so basically I'll just be
Sheila.
yeah, throwing out some lovely rhetoric on how well we're doing and keep up the good work type.
Taking out, boys.
You're yelling out the traditional, it's the fourth quarter, you've got to give you 110% sort of speech to rally the troops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an average leadership check.
Yes.
And each success gives an ally in short range recover 1 strain. I can spend advantage to give affected allies an additional strain. And each ally that I also give inspiring rhetoric to would gain a boost on all skill checks for a number of rounds equal to my leadership, which is 2 rounds.
Oh,
beautiful. I've got the average. The other one I love. Inspiring rhetoric, great. So what's the one that allows you basically to give the enemy a tongue lashing?
I'm not sure.
another one you're talking about.
Yeah. That's a great talent as well.
You had it used on me.
Anyway,
Brutal.
ready to roll, and you can roll it when you are ready.
I'd like to, but my skills are all empty on my character sheet. I don't know why. See if I've closed it, and I'll just try and reload it again. See if that makes a difference.
It's they're there when I open it.
Yeah, they're back again. It just dropped out because I've popped the second window out.
Yep.
Yeah, so ready for a leadership role?
Absolutely.
Don't know how that went. So 3 successes and 1 advantage, which means everyone can heal 1 strain. Mizota can heal a 2nd strain, and everyone gets a boost on their next 3 action for the next 2 turns.
Sorry, say that again, the last bit?
2 strain.
You get a boost for the next 3 turns.
2 turns, sorry.
2 turns.
Yeah, but all 3 of you get it.
Nice.
And I might just take cover behind something just in case someone decides to shoot at me.
Yep, there is.
There's a big melee. Let's go behind that.
There is debris about the place, and you avail yourself of it.
Yeah, I promise to keep this dust damage free, and that I'm intending to keep that promise.
I like it.
Blocking the high camera view.
Beautiful. All right, so we've got that.
Sorry, that's it.
So they've acted. They dead.
Is speaking of free action?
Yep.
Can I just call out to the various amounts of still alive miscreants who are also very, very seriously hurt, and suggest that they surrender before we make the current damage situation to them more permanent?
You absolutely can do that, and you can see the very thought had been occurring to them already.
Good.
As you say that, you can see that the two people in the background here, you can see them approach. They got this fellow here as he approaches has a blaster rifle, and he's got it held up over his head, not pointed at anybody. Makes his way into the room and says, "I don't want any trouble. Oh, I don't want any trouble." He's holding the blaster rifle up, slowly places it down on the ground and sort of pushes it away, and then moves back away, eyes on the body of the Aqualish down here. You can see further into the building, you hear the sound of someone running further into the building and disappearing from view as they do so.
That sounds like the brave footsteps of a leader about to escape.
Gonna chase him down now.
Yeah.
So that is the actions of our two NPCs, and we've got a PC slot at the top of the order there.
I'm exiting. Sir? Yes, sir.
So who's taking the 5-2?
I'll take it.
I'm assuming.
No, it doesn't disagree, but unless somebody else wants to go after him.
No, go.
Excellent. All right, Heathen, you steam after him. It's gonna take you two maneuvers to get down to where they've gone. You can hear the footsteps pitter patter as they flee towards the back far corner of the warehouse. It's going to take you two maneuvers to get down there. So a strain if you want to take it, or your action.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take the strain.
Yep. You burst into the room where that character is, and you can see in that room there is a workbench. There's a data pad set up on the workbench. Next to that is an inactive droid, an R2 unit. And you can see this guy as you're right on his heels. He's walking backwards into the room, the heavy blaster pistol in his hand, wavering uncertainly in the direction of the R2 unit. And he's saying, "I know what you're here for. Oh, I know what you're here for. You won't get it. Unless you leave, you won't get it."
I'm here for you, buddy. No, I'm just saying I'm here for him.
You can see a sort of realization dawn on his face as you utter those words, and he tries to swiftly turn the blaster pistol on you.
Don't care if you shoot me, buddy. If you do it, you'll die.
Is that your
deliberately
action? You've got if you want to, you've got two maneuvers to get down into this room.
Yep.
You can use your action as the second maneuver, or you can take a strain to take a second maneuver and leave your action open.
Say that again, sorry.
So it's taking maneuvers to get down here.
Yep.
Either that can be a maneuver and your action, or it can be a maneuver and a strain to take a second maneuver, which leaves you open with an action.
Yeah, I'll take the strain again.
Yep, so take the strain. He moves to point the heavy blaster pistol at you.
I'll hit him with the butt of the sword, sadly. With the hilt.
We'll call it. Let's use the same stats line as we would for your knuckle dusters. Essentially bashing him with the hilt of the sword.
Does it come under melee instead of brawl though?
You can use melee instead of brawl. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an average check. He is coming up with the blaster pistol. You've just run, helter skelter after him. There's a setback die in it for that. But feel free to roll and whenever you are ready.
Yeah, I get the advantage from Jarla still, don't I? First off.
Absolutely, you do. Yes, you are
10.
inspired.
Yep. And I hit him roughly. Threaten him violently. Fuckeration.
Nice. You leap forward with the butt of the sword and motion as if you're going to belt his face in, essentially.
Yeah.
You can see him cowl as the hilt of the sword approaches, and you back it off, and then sort of lunge forward again, threateningly. He drops to his knees and throws the blaster pistol out of his hands, and he's just yelled, "Please, just let me go!"
Okay, you didn't hurt me. Who's the droid? What's his name?
The droid is inactive.
Okay.
The droid's the missing astromech, probably.
Yeah. I'll just drag him by the scruff of his neck and stand him up and push him out.
You can hear the sound of his footsteps as he makes his way down into this room, away from everybody else, and out one of the 3 doors that Mazota uncovered earlier.
Oh, I don't want to let him go. I want to drag him along with me.
All right. Well, in that case, he doesn't make his way out.
Drag him along, like push him out in front of me and say, "Let's go, buddy."
Rightio.
For a second there, he thought he got away with this one.
No, buddy. Sorry.
In his own head, he was home and free.
Sorry, buddy. I didn't say I'm going to let you go. I wasn't going to kill you. I didn't even hit this guy. Look, there's not a mark on him.
As he stumbles in front of you, you lead him up into that front room with everybody else up there. The only one that seems like they're willing to keep fighting is this fellow here, the one that you first hit, the one that first let Jarla into the room. However, completely deflated with the abject surrender of his compatriots.
Has the initiative tracker disappeared?
Oh yeah, I just cut it out. Sorry. What would you like to do?
No. That's fine. If it's not necessary, it's not necessary.
Well, unless you're going to start bashing heads, it's probably not necessary. How they are, it's still probably not necessary. Yes.
Back up again.
With the exception of fellow here, who's still looking saucy, although severely deflated. He's sort of looking around in askance, in shock that everything has turned so quickly. He's still got a blaster pistol in one hand. It's not aimed at anyone. It's sort of aimlessly, wavering around on the ground as he sort of stumbles backwards. He's still dazed a little bit from getting punched in the head, and the suddenness and the brutality that he has just witnessed has sort of shocked him.
Don't do it, mate. Don't do it.
I would very much recommend you put your weapon down. Otherwise, you'll be as dead as your Aqualish friend over there.
You can see him sort of struggling with the cognitive dissonance of this entire scenario. He is used to being the one calling the shots, and mutters, sort of says again and again, "You don't know, you don't."
Daro? Is that who we're
What are you dealing with?
We're messing with Daro, are we?
And he looks up. It's obvious that is his name.
Yeah. Put it down.
All right. Well, we're lucky we didn't accidentally kill him.
I'm not going to accidentally kill him. I'll intentionally kill him. Put it down.
He sort of eyes are wild, and you can he's sort of in the moment. Heathen, he's in that space where he's sort of capable of anything.
I'm sure the concussion that Heathen gave him didn't exactly help.
No.
Can I try and calm him down somehow?
Yeah, absolutely. You could use a charm to try and calm him, to convince him to relinquish his weapon or to see the reality of what's happening.
Yeah.
His massive ego is going to add a setback die.
Yeah, I remove setback die.
Oh,
He's loving it.
all right.
You could probably easily make an argument that he would have at least 2 setback die. I think that's probably not an unfair statement.
Oh no, it's a hard check, but it's a setback die because he's just pure ego.
Okay, right. So ready to roll?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
Do it now.
How do I add so use light side?
Yep, and I will upgrade your check. So I've added that in, and you are free to roll the pool when you're ready.
Oh, damn it.
All right. You sort of approach him, Jala, hands out, calm voice, very soothing. Look around you. You can see, it's time. Put your weapon down. We won't hurt you, so on and so on. But, you sort of take a step closer than you sort of mean to. Yeah. And he almost takes it as an assault in the sense of you're already impinging on his authority, his perceived authority, in the fact that you have assaulted them so brutally in what they regarded as a safe house. Yeah. He, has already a significant ego. Play, as well as the fact that his head's still a little fuzzy. You're saying that Heathen's right there in his face as well. I noticed his token move up, and you almost get through. You almost get through, and then one of you, either it's you or Heathen, takes just one step a little bit further, and he's convinced suddenly. All these sweet words are just a ploy to get him to lower his guard, at which point you're going to kill him. You want his authority, the authority that is hard won, that he has fought for, that he's rightfully his. He raises a blaster pistol to fire at. Can I get a D6, please, from someone?
Someone will beat me to it, I'm sure.
At Jala.
God damn it.
Last step in the way. As much as I can.
You're going to dive in the way?
Oh, yeah. That's why I stand so close to him.
All right. It's going to be a hard athletics challenge. And I'm going to put a setback die in there because his mental break comes suddenly.
Yep.
You still have a boost dice from me, one remaining boost dice from me.
Oh, yeah. That's been added to the pool. So feel free to roll your athletics whenever you're ready, Heathen. Nice. You managed to get in the way of the blaster bolt. You dive sideways. I'm going to add that threat to his boost die. I'm going to give him a boost die in his shot for that threat. He's at a disadvantage, however, because he's got a setback die, I should say, because of the sudden movement and the surprise. The range, it's an easy shot. So he's ready to roll.
I get one defense as well. Yeah.
What's that?
I get one defense from the armor as well.
Oh, nice. All right. So he's got 2 successes and a disadvantage. So he takes a shot. It's going to do 7-8 damage. Minus
Smile.
soak.
I smile at him. Don't do it again.
Well,
Remembering you don't want him dead.
he's
Okay, good, because that was literally the next thing I was going to say is I pull my gun and shoot him with my stun setting.
Yep. You absolutely. Whoever wants to do it, absolutely can do it.
I get the picture that both of us would draw at the same time and fire at the same time. Like, it's just that picture of.
I think the rule of cool stipulates that absolutely happens. Again, it's an easy shot. However, it's upgraded 1 because Heathen is so close.
Yeah.
And you are free to take it whenever you are ready, both of you.
So I don't know if my settings are set up correctly, but I'm just going to roll my ranged weapon and then we resolve it from there, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Skill page. Do it in the combat
I'm in
page.
the combat section and I've added a weapon.
Yep.
So it's got damage, critical, all that sort of stuff set.
Yep. That's it. Go for it.
So I'm going to just try and do that. Which fails.
So how much damage do I take with your weapon? He probably shoots me.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
me.
a stun setting, so it's not doing damage, I hope. I don't
How
know
much
how these things work.
It'll do strain.
Ah.
Yeah, it's soaked by armor though.
Yes.
How much damage does it do?
7.
Okay. That tickles.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, you're intentionally using the stun setting. I think it's absolutely reasonable to say that he just goes unconscious.
Hmm.
Wow, you've filled it up, haven't you? No. No, it's not what you do. I know what you tried to do. Yeah, I looked at it the other day.
Hey, but no blue dice. Just 1?
Yeah.
No worries. And you've got an extra 1 from the inspiring rhetoric Ijala used earlier. So roll a pull. GM pool in the middle of the pool at the top of your character sheet.
2 advantage.
Yep.
So you just convert it directly to more damage.
Yeah, you don't have to use that for a critical or anything along those lines. You're not trying to kill them. They're already, significantly damaged. This fellow, Daro. Your
Oh.
he's unconscious. Yeah, he's unconscious.
So I wanted to ask him about that. Oh.
You can see the others there are on their knees, hands in the air, begging you to let them go, to not harm them. They can see that you've stunned Daro rather than killed him. What would you like to do now?
There's a droid down the back, guys. You want to go check it out? I'll go have a look.
I'm gonna tell all of the guys that there was an empty container or something. Is that are we talking a shipping container size thing?
Where's that?
Did you say there was an empty shipping container or something here?
There's just a bunch of empty containers, so they're just boxes essentially.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell them to all sit and huddle in the corner. They put down their weapons, haven't they? I'll just move all the weapons in one pile as well.
Yep.
In that room there.
Can we
Put them on the room.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mate, do you want to do your thing? Make sure they're not going to die.
You stabilise them. All of them, well, 2 of them are pretty beat up, but you stabilise them and relocate them all into the room down here.
We'll have Daro separate from them.
Yep, no worries. He's still unconscious. The other 4 are in there. The dead body obviously lies where it lies.
Are any of the weapons they've dropped of particularly impressive quality, or is it just all nasty, cheap stuff?
No, there's a couple of heavy blaster pistols. There's 2 blaster rifles. There's a stash elsewhere in the building, if you go looking for it, of a variety of other weapons, including some holdout blasters, heavy blaster pistols, and blaster rifles.
No, it was more if I saw anything better than my basic holdout blaster. But
Yeah, basically anything that they've got is better than your holdout blaster.
Sorry?
Basically anything they've got is better than your holdout blaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, the holdout blaster is more of a, like, if I'll just have the holdout blaster as my signature weapon. I can just mod it and upgrade it as I go, I suspect.
Yeah. They're usually not easy to mod though. Like game wise, they are very cheap and nasty.
The holdout?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not going to shoot a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, heavy blaster pistols probably, if you were going to go for a pistol, that's probably the one that packs the most punch. But there are blaster pistols, heavy blaster pistols and blaster rifles available if you wanted to take any of those as well.
Right. I'll take a heavy blaster pistol just to, is that a light weapon? Ranged light?
It's a light weapon. Yes. It's about the biggest of the light weapons there is.
Yeah, I'll take one of those and then add it to my personal inventory.
You have a brawn of at least 2?
Sorry?
You got a brawn of at least 2?
Yes.
Yeah, you're fine then.
Oh, don't be like
that. Why do you say that?
And I'm going to go hunting for this data pad.
Yep.
I'd wandered down to that room where it is.
Down in the room at the bottom of the warehouse here, you find, first of all, in the large room over here, there are a bunch of sort of couches, hammocks, various other things that have been set up to make the life of the gang that calls this place home a little bit more comfortable. In this far room over here, where you find the droid, there's also a steel cabinet and a backpack and data pad set up with leads running into the astromech droid. The astromech droid itself shows some signs of mistreatment. It looks like it's been beat up a little bit. It's covered with some oily handprints and dents, and looks fairly beat up. Is also inactive. The backpack up on the bench contains a large, sort of almost like a spanner. M8, when you see it, you know what it is immediately.
Check it out for a restraining bolt.
It is exactly. It is a tool for the application of restraining bolts.
Is it also used for removing restraining bolts?
Can also be used to remove restraining bolts. Absolutely.
I will deactivate the droid.
Speaking of, the droid is inactive. It has got a restraining bolt on it.
I'll activate the droid.
Not a problem. You remove the restraining bolt. The droid slowly blinks on and off, and you can see that that there is a data pad there connected to R4W9 as the droid identifies.
I want to disconnect it.
Yep. Does anyone want to check it?
Yeah, I'll have a look at it, but I want to disconnect the droid from the data pad.
Yep.
The droid
checking
again?
the data pad's going to be an average computers check.
Oh, okay. Can anyone help me here?
We need to get to the system. Where's Brecco?
Yeah, he's not here. The droid can help us, but I can't speak binary.
It was just an average computers check.
Yeah.
I got one yellow, one green. That's it.
Well, I suspect that M8's probably our best.
No. You'd think that, but no.
That's better than my 2 greens, so.
You could use a light side point if you wanted to.
Yep.
Yep. Upgrade added. Yep.
I do.
Yes.
You can get help. Yeah, skilled help from Mazota, so you can use one of your attributes and one of your skills. Yep. Roll the GM dice pool.
Don't bang it on the bench, mate.
The check is upgraded because you used a light side point.
It's not right. Yeah.
You're given your hat and duster, you're used to getting telegraphs from the wire. Yeah, that's right. The postboy normally delivers it, and it says things like M8, stop. So no, you know that there are some files on there, and it looks like it was trying to sync with the astromech droid's navigational data. You don't know exactly what that file is. It's hidden, and you can't. But you think Brecco should be able to do that.
Yeah, I gently remove it from M8's hands, and we'll let
So
Brecco.
did the droid activate at all? Or did it shut
Yes,
down
the
again?
droid is now active, is now switched back on. You can hear it beeping and whistling as it takes in its new circumstance.
Yeah, you're safe, buddy. We've got your friend at our ship, so if you want to come with us, you'll be right.
Lame Rye. Yeah.
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 The astromech droid tells you that that his master is dead, and that she was killed, and that he and J9 were taken.
I'm going to take a punt at Bandin Dobar.
She was a retired smuggler, one of the best smugglers in the region. and was supposed to be protected, but Daro Blunt roughed her up to get hold of J9 and R4, and she was just too old, and her body couldn't take it, and she died.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, it might be worth pointing out, if we've got a smuggling operation to do in the morning, that R4 may be a very useful little droid to help us on that.
You might have some navigation data we want.
R4.
Just leave him alone in the room with the astromech droid, and whatever happens, happens. We didn't see it, so we can't guarantee that the droid did it. Yeah. No, just restraining bolts repeatedly.
They come with a welder.
Oh yeah, the droid is keen to take its revenge. Not only on Daro Blunt, but also on the larger criminal in all of this, which is Bandin Dobar. The droid says that reading through its files, it looks like these inept bunch of inbreds here were trying to cache its navigational data, which had been built up by previous master over decades of acting as a successful smuggler, and that that R4 has one of the best databases of smuggling routes in this area for glitterstim spice that is available, and that's what these ingrates were after, and that it also has the location of Bandin Dobar. The location is on that data pad that you're holding.
Did I hear that?
First of all, because there's surveillance of the warehouse?
Yep.
Is there any internal surveillance equipment?
Yes, back in the room, back in this larger room here, where I said there were hammocks and other things. There are a bunch of monitors up on the walls, up on the facing wall here, and a sort of a bench underneath them with a computer system feeding data from the cameras outside. There are a couple of cameras outside, and
yeah. So I'm going to ask, because clearly all of us are inept. I'm going to ask one of the 4 guys captured in the room, which one of them is responsible for the surveillance equipment?
A tentative hand goes up.
Right. A motion for that person to follow me. I take them down into the computer room, and then basically politely suggest that they make sure there is no records of whatever happened this evening in this place.
They are busy doing that when R4 wheels in and happens to be observing what's going on. And shortly afterwards, R4 extends an operating arm and electrocutes the person for trying to cache certain data.
Yeah.
and that person, after recovering, shows you that they have done the best they can to wipe all systems completely clean.
Okay. Does anyone have a secondary suggestion for how we make sure this equipment is as clean as possible? Possibly involving minor explosives. Yeah, that was my other fallback.
We could take it with us. No, just the stuff that's here. Storage and maybe a couple of surveillance cameras if you want.
The drives.
Yes.
Destroy the drives.
There are when you poke around the warehouse, you do find a couple of containers of accelerant. Just saying.
Yeah, this place could accidentally burn to the ground.
Oh.
I didn't kill anyone today.
Just very, very, very nearly.
No, you are.
I would probably prefer that we didn't murder someone in cold blood.
And I'd rather you didn't. No, that's torture. I can't agree with it. When he wakes up, he'll feel it.
How about this instead? Daro is such a failure that Bandin Dobar will almost certainly mete out anything worse than you could possibly imagine.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to do him a favor, do we? I pass you back your duster, by the way.
If anything looks moderately valuable, I'm going to pick it up and leave with it.
Not a problem. You find a couple of things. There's in one of the rooms. There's a locked cabinet that doesn't take much unlocking, and inside that there's 950 credits. You find a pack of restraining bolts, a bunch of weapons, as I described earlier. It looks like, aside from that, there's not a hell of a lot. In that backpack, as well as the restraining bolt applicator, there's another 150 credits in there. And that, aside from that, there's a kitchenette, there's various other bits and pieces, but nothing of significant value. It looks like these guys were in the middle of passing on and collecting. There's not a hell of a lot here. There is furious nodding.
It may be worth noting as well that they know how Bandin Dobar is going to react, and that is probably good enough motivation for Daro to make himself scarce.
I can't imagine they'll be here tomorrow.
No.
You boys hanging around?
No.
That's good.
No, actually, I was, family off world. I was planning to visit them anyway.
Taking severance package?
Or not. It's just, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time.
That's probably a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah. And we're, yeah, no, it's, no, that's, yep, no, we'll be gone. You are, it's, it's that simple. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Indeed.
I'll get those blaster rifles too.
Yep, not a problem.
You won't be needing
There's 3 blaster rifles. There's 4 heavy blaster pistols, and 6 holdout blasters.
Anyone got spare arms?
Yeah, I'll sling a rifle over my shoulder. And...
Yep. Heavy blaster pistols?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, let's leave it there. It's past midnight. I'll put the experience into the Discord channel. You